Welcome to Contact Centres Uncensored. I'm Simon Blair.
And I'm Shelley Flett, and we're bringing you cut-through conversations for leaders. Hey Simon.
Hey Shelley.
How's it going?
Excellent.
Good day?
Very good day.
Great. Today, the question is right down your alley, and it is, how do you make a quality monitoring program effective?
Good question. It is core to, the services that I offer is helping a lot of contact centres make their quality programs work effectively.
So surely it's just about getting recording, right? And having the ability to record the calls, and then you pick out the worst call each month, and then you sit down with the person and with the staff member, and you play that really bad call and get them to, get into it and feel, put themselves in the customer's shoes, and then debrief and off you go. You're done.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
it, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't really.
Thanks for watching. Shelley's just nailed it.
I can help you with this.
One thing in particular that stood out to me in what you said was picking the bad call.
Yeah, the worst.
So is that a practice you've actually seen?
Definitely. Have the staff member feel like they're actually terrible at their job.
That's
really
one strategy.
Smack them while they're down, and then get them out and go pick up your game.
Well, I'm sure it's happened.
I know this is absolutely even saying these things, and I'm becoming known for being the person that does it wrong and says all the things that are wrong, but really highlighting there are organisations out there that is their approach to quality monitoring.
Yeah, well.
And their NPS results reflect that.
Yeah, well, exactly. And here it is with quality monitoring, just as something I think I need to sort of get off my chest. It's a bit of a bugbear of mine. It relates to NPS, which is apparently the panacea of all things. It can fix everything. Everyone's latched onto it as the newest and greatest thing, which has been around for about 10 years or more.
We need.
And that's all you need. And if we focus on NPS, we can really improve our customer experience. Well, that's like focusing on getting the sale, focusing on the outcome, not the process that'll take care of the outcome.
Yes.
And because NPS is a measure of outcome, the impact you've had on your customer. What an effective quality monitoring program can do is effectively measure the quality of the experience in the moment.
But don't you find that the quality monitoring programs, they have so many questions and so much criteria that it just becomes almost a checklist? And then
absolutely.
The calls become robotic, and they don't flow, and they're asking, classic one, what is the phone call that you've had where you haven't been able to get the outcome that you've wanted?
I know what you're going to say.
At the very end of the call, is there anything else I can help you with today? And so my response in my sarcastic tone is, I'm not sure you helped me at all in the first place. So not sure how that comment really fits into the conversation, but really tick the box. And actually it annoys your customers. I know it annoys me when they say it.
Have you been listening to my coaching sessions? Because it's almost verbatim. You're stolen the very thing that I use as my own example. But it's for good reason. It's as customers, we all notice it. We all notice it now because it's script.
Yeah.
And why is it script? Because pretty much every quality monitoring checklist on the planet has that as a criteria in how you close the conversation. And of course, it's lost all its meaning for offshore call centres in particular. You hear it's used out of context, as per the example you've just given. It has the opposite effect of what you're trying to achieve, because everything that's in a quality monitoring program checklist should be, if it's executed to the standard you've defined, create a positive influence on the experience. And clearly, the use of that script-like element in that context creates a negative experience. So it has the opposite effect. And so it means the quality program is driving negative customer experience, which is the opposite of obviously what it should be doing.
So in 2017's quality framework standards, what do you include in that? What are the components of a good quality framework? Is it that it's not a number of lines, but more a holistic approach to the call that is dependent on the context?
Yes, and yes. So the reason it's tricky is there's no one way to suit every situation. Myself, I use a checklist. There is a set of criteria that follows, it's a call flow from the start of the interaction to the end, and then it also evaluates what each individual brings to the table in terms of their communication, their vibrancy, their energy, their empathy, in how they're executing those elements.
So you go specific, but then you've got a broad kind of overlay with that.
Exactly. And it's the combination, the design of the measurement model, the expertise behind who's doing the measurement, the standards that you put in place, are often where the gaps are for so many call centres who basically just put a checklist in place and they, as if that's the standard, when it's just a label. It's a label on a piece of paper or in a system. It's what are you trying to evaluate? What's the intent behind every single element? What's the underlying psychology? And that requires a depth of expertise in consumer psychology. In case of inbound sales, we buy on emotion, we justify with logic. So if that's the case, every part of your conversation should be there to trigger an emotional response at different times of the call, and understanding what is the emotion you're deliberately trying to trigger. And that's what delivers good experience and buying outcomes, as opposed to just a process.
And so having a good quality monitoring program sounds like it starts with having some specific measurable components of it with that holistic feel of the call. But also there's a really important component on how the feedback is delivered and the conversation that takes place between the leader and the person that's actually taking the call. That they're not sitting down with a checklist in front of them, but potentially playing a good, bad or otherwise call and reflecting on, how do you think you went in terms of the buying strategies and the things that you were talking about before, and having that conversation based around that as opposed to the specific metrics.
Absolutely, well, you make a good point, and it really strikes at the heart of what is the point of your quality monitoring. And it's not because you just need to have quality monitoring in place. Like everything, why? What are you trying to achieve? And the quality monitoring, when it works properly, is a critical part of your measurement of the experience. And it complements NPS and traditional customer sat and voice of the customer programs very, very well. None of those in isolation will be the thing that fixes it. But what it is a measurement model. And as a measurement model, the output of your quality monitoring program should fuel your coaching process. Excellent. And that is the big,
great advice.
The big part that most contact centres fail to nail and make work. So it's the input for the coaching process. And so the output of the monitoring program in terms of how it assists a manager to give good feedback and then take the checklist off the table when it comes to the coaching, exactly as you described, that requires a degree of, I suppose, expertise and experience in how to design your reports, the combination. And here's the tricky bit with quality monitoring, because and quite controversial is the use of the number, the score itself. Yeah. And there's a whole psychology. Now, I produce scores. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. You need to be able to track the improvements in conversation effectiveness over time for individuals and teams across the board. But like everything, it's how you use the number. So people go, you can't use a number, it gets in the way. No, it's how you do it. You need to be able to, for some individuals, they get demotivated by the number. They can't get past. They look at that, they react to that instead of really what the holistic view is. Yeah. While others, and I've just come back from coaching one of my clients last week, spent a whole week in this business. Certain individuals, in fact, the best call centre consultant was purely motivated by the number.
By the score. I myself am motivated by numbers. I love them.
So I want to get 100%. Yeah. Show me how to do that. Get 100%. Give me the answer, and I will do it. And as a result, they're amazing. But a different person, that's not going to work. So and that's why you've got to have a horses for courses approach. Yeah,
which is, I think, a really great note to end the conversation on. And of course, if you've got a call monitoring program that you've just implemented or it needs reviewing or taking a look at, you're the perfect person to do that, Simon. So And of course, that accompanies coaching conversations between leaders and their staff.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
please like, comment, and share, and send us your questions. We'd be really keen to hear your thoughts on this particular subject. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Shelley.